Look up tonight. Somewhere in that darkness, there's a galaxy, 1 trillion stars, hurtling toward you at 110 kilometers per second. You can't feel it, you can't hear it, but it's there, closing in, and has been for billions of years. In roughly 4 billion years, it will collide with the Milky Way. Or maybe it'll miss us by a cosmic whisper. We don't know which. But here's the unsettling truth. You can see it coming. Right now. With nothing but your naked eyes. No telescope. No equipment. Just you. The night. And the slow-motion apocalypse written across the sky. On a moonless night, away from the neon veins of civilization, tilt your head toward the constellation Andromeda. There's a smudge there. Faint. Ghostly. Easy to dismiss as atmospheric fog. But that's no cloud. That's Andromeda. A galaxy 2.5 million light-years away, carrying more stars than grains of sand on every beach on Earth. And it's moving. Toward us. Always toward us. Tonight, you're not just stargazing. You're watching the fate of everything you know unfold in real time. Let's step into the story of the only cosmic collision you'll ever witness from the inside. Humans noticed Andromeda long before we knew what galaxies were. In 964 AD, the Persian astronomer Abd al-Rahman al-Sufi catalogued it in his Book of Fixed Stars. He called it a small cloud. For centuries, that's all it was. A persistent, glowing mystery. Stars twinkled, planets wandered. But this smudge, it just sat there, defying explanation. Fast forward to 1612. German astronomer Simon Marius aimed one of the first telescopes at it. He described what he saw as resembling a candle flame seen through horn. Diffuse, ethereal, haunting. But what was it? A gas cloud inside our own galaxy, a distant nebula, or something else? The debate raged for 300 years. Astronomers argued, speculated, and guessed. No one had the tools to know for sure, until one man turned the largest telescope on Earth toward that ancient smudge and discovered we weren't alone. In the 1920s, Edwin Hubble used the colossal 100-inch Hooker telescope at Mount Wilson Observatory to pierce the veil. He identified Cepheid variable stars inside Andromeda, stars that pulse like cosmic lighthouses, their brightness rising and falling on clockwork schedules. By measuring their periods and luminosity, Hubble calculated their distance. And the number he got? Staggering. 2.5 million light-years. That meant the light entering his telescope had been traveling since before modern humans existed. When that light left Andromeda, our ancestors were still Homo habilis, chipping crude stone tools in African savannas. No language, no fire, no concept of stars beyond those bright things. That light crossed an ocean of void for 2.5 million years, and only now arrived at Hubble's lens. Andromeda wasn't a nebula. It was a galaxy, an entire universe of stars, separate from ours, vast, ancient, and not alone. But Hubble found something else, something that should have been impossible. In 1913, astronomer Vesto Slipher analyzed Andromeda's light spectrum. Most galaxies show redshift. Their light stretched toward longer, redder wavelengths because they're racing away from us as the universe expands. But Andromeda, its light was blue-shifted, compressed, squeezed toward shorter wavelengths. That meant only one thing. It was moving toward us. Think about that. In a universe where everything is fleeing from everything else, where galaxies recede faster the farther they are, Andromeda is doing the opposite. It's approaching. At 110 kilometers per second, 245,000 miles per hour. Gravity is dragging it toward the Milky Way like iron filings toward a magnet. And gravity doesn't ask permission. It doesn't stop. It doesn't care if you're ready. For billions of years, these two galaxies have been locked in a gravitational embrace, and now, after eons of patient approach, they're about to dance. Here's what most people don't grasp about Andromeda. If your eyes could detect all its faint outer starlight, if you could see its full halo of ancient stars, it would span 6 full moons across the sky. 6, lined up side by side. That's how enormous it already is in our night sky. But we only see the bright core, a tiny fraction of its true structure. The rest is there, invisible, a ghost galaxy lurking in plain sight. Andromeda is twice the size of the Milky Way. Its disk stretches over 200,000 light-years. Ours? About 100,000. It holds 1 trillion stars, more than twice our 200 to 400 billion. If galaxies were nations, Andromeda would be the empire, and we'd be the neighboring kingdom watching its banners approach the horizon. And despite that 2.5 million light-year gulf, despite the incomprehensible distance, every second it closes, every year, every millennium, the gap shrinks. There is no off switch. Can we stop it? No. Can we deflect it? No. Can we negotiate with gravity? No. All we can do is what our ancestors did when they first noticed that faint smudge. Watch. Let's talk about time. The encounter is predicted to begin in 4 to 5 billion years. That's not soon. That's almost incomprehensibly distant. To put it in perspective, complex multicellular life on Earth only appeared about 600 million years ago. 4 billion years is more than 6 times that entire span. When Andromeda arrives, humanity, if we still exist, will be so evolved, so changed, so unrecognizable that calling us human would be like calling single-cell bacteria modern civilization. But here's the eerie part. The approach is already underway. Every photograph of Andromeda is a freeze frame of a slow-motion catastrophe. Every time you look up, you're watching a countdown. You can't stop. It's like standing on train tracks, seeing a distant light, knowing the train is coming, but the tracks stretch for billions of miles. The inevitability doesn't make it less real. It makes it more haunting. And as the distance closes, millennia bleeding into eons, Andromeda will grow. Slowly at first. So slowly, you'd need to compare observations across millions of years to notice. But around 2 billion years from now, the change becomes obvious. No longer a smudge, no longer dismissible. A vast spiral wheel filling the darkness, its arms blazing with blue-white star clusters, its core glowing like a cosmic eye. And then, contact. When you hear galactic collision, your mind conjures violence. Explosions, stars smashing like bumper cars, fireballs tearing through space. But here's the truth. Galaxies are mostly empty. The distance from our Sun to the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, is 4.2 light-years of void. When Andromeda and the Milky Way interpenetrate, the odds of any 2 stars actually colliding, nearly 0. Most will pass through the gaps like ghosts walking through walls. But that doesn't mean nothing happens. Oh no. What happens is gravitational chaos. Imagine 2 immense whirlpools colliding. The water doesn't smash, it swirls. Stars are flung off their ancient orbits. Some are ejected entirely. Rogue suns cast into intergalactic darkness, doomed to wander the void forever. Others are dragged inward, spiraling toward the new merged core. The elegant spiral arms, the Milky Way's defining feature, photographed on every poster, every textbook, torn apart by tidal forces, reformed, scrambled, unrecognizable, and the gas, Oh, the gas. When vast molecular clouds from two galaxies collide, they compress. Compression ignites starburst events, millions of new stars blazing to life in a cosmic bonfire. The sky would erupt with light. Blue giants, supergiants, star clusters so bright they'd cast shadows on Earth's surface, if Earth still exists. And all the while, gravity pulls the galaxies back together for another pass, then another, and another. This isn't one collision, it's a merger, a slow, violent waltz lasting 2 billion years. First pass. The galaxies sweep through each other, stars scatter, spiral arms warp, but both galaxies remain somewhat intact. Then gravity drags them back. Second pass. Closer, more violent. Streams of stars flow between galaxies like cosmic rivers. Third pass. Fourth pass. Over and over. Each time they lose more structure. Each time they blend more completely. If you could watch from Earth, if anyone were still there, the night sky would transform into something from fever dreams. Andromeda would no longer be distant. It would fill half the heavens, its spiral arms resolving into billions of individual stars. The Milky Way's familiar band of light would distort, warp, stretch like taffy under Andromeda's gravitational grip. Two galaxies interpenetrating, colliding, dancing. And from that chaos, something new is born. What emerges won't be the Milky Way. It won't be Andromeda. Astronomers have already named it Milkomeda or Milkdromeda, depending on who you ask. A new galaxy, not a spiral anymore, those are destroyed in the merger, but an elliptical galaxy, a vast, bloated cloud of stars, spherical or oval, rotating slowly, larger than either parent, more massive, fundamentally different. The Milky Way, our home for 13 billion years, ceases to exist, and at the heart of this new beast, two monsters collide. At the center of the Milky Way lurks Sagittarius, a star, a supermassive black hole with a mass of 4 million suns. At Andromeda's core, a black hole 100 million times the sun's mass. When the galaxies merge, these titans don't immediately collide. At first, they're separated by thousands of light years, each anchoring a swirling maelstrom of stars. But gravity pulls them together. They begin to orbit each other, a binary system of unimaginable power. As they spiral inward, they radiate gravitational waves, ripples in space-time itself, predicted by Einstein, detected by LIGO in 2015. These waves carry energy away from the system, causing the orbits to decay, shrink, faster, closer. The black holes accelerate to a significant fraction of the speed of light, warping space-time so violently that reality itself bends around them. And then, after millions of years of this death spiral, they merge. For a brief, shining instant, the power released as gravitational waves exceeds the combined light of every star in the observable universe. More energy than 100 million galaxies, detectable across billions of light years. The merged black hole, roughly 100 million solar masses, rings like a struck bell, oscillating, settling into its new shape. And then, silence. The new center of Milkomeda, a gravitational god ruling over 1 trillion stars. What happens to Earth? The answer is probably nothing and everything. The sun will likely survive. Star collisions are so rare that Earth's orbit will probably remain stable, but everything else changes. Our position in the galaxy, completely different. We might be flung to the outer edges of Milkomeda, a lonely suburb of a new metropolis, or dragged inward toward the dense, radiation-soaked core. We don't know. The night sky? Unrecognizable. The constellations, Orion, Ursa Major, Cassiopeia, erased. Stars drift apart over millions of years. New stars flood the sky from Andromeda's influx. The familiar becomes alien. If any civilization exists on Earth then, they'll look up and see a sky their ancestors never imagined. New dangers too. If we're pulled into a denser region, supernovae might explode nearby, bathing us in lethal radiation. Or we might drift into a safer, quieter zone. It's a lottery. But here's the thing. This happens in 4 billion years. By then, the sun will be nearing the end of its life, swelling into a red giant, possibly engulfing Earth. Humanity, if we survive, will be unrecognizable, spread across star systems, evolved beyond biology, or extinct. 4 billion years is longer than complex life has existed on Earth. We can't predict what inherits this fate, but something will witness it. And they'll look up at a sky we can't imagine, in a galaxy we wouldn't recognize, and wonder what their distant ancestors saw when Andromeda was just a smudge. Here's what we don't know. The newest data from Gaia and Hubble suggests the trajectory isn't as certain as older models predicted. Direct collision? Glancing blow? A near miss that sends both galaxies into a chaotic gravitational dance for eons? We don't know. The simulations are good, but gravity is chaotic over billions of years. Small changes in velocity, tiny tugs from other galaxies in the local group, all matter. But the uncertainty doesn't erase the stakes. Whether it's a full merger or a disruptive encounter, the Milky Way will be transformed. Home stops being home. The sky changes. The structure we've known for billions of years, gone. And all we can do across the eons is watch. Generation after generation. Civilization after civilization. Looking up at Andromeda, watching it grow, knowing something is coming, unable to stop it. Only able to witness. Right now, if you step outside on a clear dark night and look toward Andromeda, you'll see it. That faint smudge. Easy to miss. Just a ghostly blur. But now you know what it is. 1 trillion stars. Moving toward you. Every second. Every year. Every millennium. Closing the distance. In 1 billion years, it'll be brighter. Impossible to ignore. In 2 billion, it'll dominate the sky. A spiral titan hanging over the horizon. In 3 billion, it'll fill half the darkness, its stars visible individually, its core blazing. And in 4 billion, contact. The slow-motion fate of the Milky Way, written across the heavens. Patient, inevitable, absolute. You won't be here. Your children won't. Your species won't. But something will watch. Something will inherit that transformed sky. And when they look up, they'll see what we set in motion billions of years ago. Gravity doing what gravity does. Slowly, inevitably, beautifully, terrifyingly. Andromeda is coming, and you can see it. Right now, tonight. Just look up. That faint light in the constellation Andromeda. Our neighbor, coming closer. And when it arrives, home stops being home. The Milky Way ends. And something new, vast, transformed, unrecognizable, is born. That smudge in the sky. That's not just light. That's fate. And it's already on its way.